In this video, I'll be showing you my daily manifestation routine that helped me go from someone that was insecure, stressed, anxious, and totally crushed by life to someone that's now living their dream life, fulfilled, is living in their desired country, surrounded by their desired friend group and their loved ones, and attracting blessings on autopilot. You can do it too, and I'll be showing you in this video my routine that helped me manifest and go from A to B, and how you can create your own personalized manifestation routine. A manifestation routine is not a one-size-fits-all. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to be honest. You have to tailor your own routine to suit your own emotions, your own needs, and your own beliefs, so you can achieve success and get to your dream life and manifest your desires. And here's one important thing that I want to mention. Your routine should not rely on you having motivation. You have to discipline yourself into doing this routine every single day. Motivation comes and goes, it ebbs and flows. We don't want that. We want rock solid, grounded discipline for this routine in order to see true results. It's like motivation is like you going to the gym one day and then exercising for 2 hours and not going anymore for 2 weeks. Discipline is like showing up every single day to the gym for 30 minutes, whether you feel like it or not, even if you feel tired, even if you feel anxious, even if you feel uncomfortable. You show up 30 minutes a day for the rest of your life. Who would see more transformation? Obviously, the person who's disciplined will. Motivation will not give you the results that you need, and I want you to understand this belief because I felt prey to that too. I thought motivation was enough for me to see transformation. But the truth is, the things you do daily are what will lead to the outcome of your life. The good habits will add up. You showing up to the gym even when no one else sees it, even if you're alone, you feel uncomfortable, no one sees your pain, no one sees your struggle, you showing up every single day, it will add up and you will get the result you want, even if you don't see it right now. The same goes for negative, toxic, self-sabotaging habits. You choosing to eat junk food late at night because whatever, I'm hungry, life is meant to be pleasurable, I have to enjoy this, I want to eat it every single day. So you eat it every single day late at night, eventually it's going to compound. Over time, you're going to gain weight, you are not going to be happy with that, and it's just going to cause a lot more self-esteem issues, etc., etc. Honestly, I don't blame you right now if you have bad habits in your routine, because a lot of people aren't taught the importance of it. A lot of people aren't made aware to how important your daily habits are to creating the life that you want. It's not just having a big, random miracle moment happening in your life that'll result in crazy transformation. It's the small, tiny decisions that you take every single day. A person who's an overnight success, they don't get that way because, boom, they just got super lucky. Wow, they just randomly had a crazy successful business. Amazing. No, it's not random. That person on that news article that seemed like an overnight success made a billion-dollar company out of the blue and is now a millionaire. That person quietly worked in their room, shut up, for hours and hours and hours on end, for years before they got to that level of success. They probably failed a bunch of other businesses, but no one sees that. Everyone only sees the results. And that's how you become successful. You have to do the same thing over and over and over and over again in your daily routine. Then you will soon see rapid transformation in your life because you are becoming the person who has your desires. And this is how exactly I formed my own manifestation routine. I first got clear on what my life vision was, what kind of lifestyle that I wanted to live, what kind of people I wanted to be surrounded by, what desires that I had in my heart that I wanted to achieve. And then I thought to myself, what would the person who already has this lifestyle, already has my life vision, what would they be like? I got clear on who I had to become to get my desire. I wrote it down, and then I structured my routine and my habits based on what that person would do. My biggest desires in life are to start a successful business, to be healthy, and be surrounded by loved ones and have an incredible partner. Those were all the things on my life vision, and I thought to myself, what would the woman who already has those desires, what would she be like? So then I wrote down a clear, detailed list of the things she would do day to day, her habits, her feelings, etc. And you can also do this too with me right now. I have linked below a worksheet which you can fill out and look at so you can get super clear on who you have to become to attract your desires. It's the identity shifting worksheet in the description box below. It's free. You can check it out. And then, as I thought to myself, okay, she is very healthy and she has a very nice body. I've figured out that she works out every day. Wow, what a surprise. So then I started to include working out in my daily routine at that time. I went to the gym every day. I was being consistent. Blah, blah, blah. I did all those things. And then I thought to myself, well, I'm pretty consistent with working out. Now maybe I can try and do another habit that she would do day to day. I'm taking it slow right here. I'm being very slow with this because I don't want to overwhelm myself with too much changes in my life, with a bunch of lifestyle and habit changes. So I went slow. First, I started with including working out in my routine. And once I was consistent with that, I started to look for a new habit that my ideal self did to add that to my routine. And that habit was working on her business for 2 hours at least every single day. So bam, I put that into my routine because I knew that I had to work at least 2 hours on my business every single day so I can grow it, so I can get the success that I want, because that's what she did. She works out every day, she works on her business every day, and also she has a loving and amazing partner. So I began to visualize every single night being in a secure and healthy relationship already, and I began acting as if I was already in a nice partnership. Also, I desired to have physical beauty, be attractive, feel confident in how I looked. And that led me to doing my skincare, making sure I made time in my day-to-day life to do skincare, eat healthy, work out, take care of myself, give myself long showers, wear clothes that I wanted to. I did all of those things. I put all of those things in my daily routine. And that's how it basically looks. I'll just tell you my routine right now. I wake up, I do my morning manifestation routine. I basically do the things that I know that my ideal self would do. And that's the important part. Make sure you get clear on your ideal self and clear on the things that they would do day to day, because it's different for everyone. Like for me, in my morning routine, I go on a walk every single day. I make sure to do that. And then during the walk, I like to visualize and stuff. And then I like to gratitude journal, meditate a little bit. Then I start to work. Then I go to the gym. I walk around every single day. I get outdoors, be fun, be active, hang out with friends. And then I do my night routine. I wind down for the day, etc. So this is, in a nutshell, is my manifestation routine. And how I created it was by aligning every single habit that I had in my life to the person that I wanted to become. And of course, I had to quit bad habits. Of course, I had to make space. And of course, I was busy at times and I couldn't do the routine to the fullest. But it's just a rough outline. I welcome variety in my life, but I try to follow this routine every single day because this is how my ideal self lives. So don't worry about not being perfect right away for this routine. Just focus on making baby steps, including tiny, tiny habits in your day-to-day life currently that your ideal self does, and eventually it will all build up once it gets easier for you. So don't overwhelm yourself. You can start small right now. You can just do one habit that your ideal self does. Maybe your ideal self is an actor. You desire to be an actor or an actress. You could start right now with a small habit of signing up for an acting class or sitting in your room and watching videos on how to get better at acting, etc. You right now, you might not even be in the acting industry right now, but if you start small, if you start with just every single day watching a 5-minute video on how to act and you practicing that, then that's good enough. And eventually you can build up on that as you get more comfortable with that habit, and you could turn it into going to acting class every single day and signing up for that. And that could lead to new acting opportunities. You could go to an audition eventually. So don't stress, focus on the present moment and focus on what you can do right now. Small, tiny steps to get to where you want to be. And of course, it's important to remember that your routine will change as your desires evolve and as you manifest your different desires. Now, let's get into the important guidelines to keep in mind when creating your manifestation routine. This is so important and I cannot stress the importance of this. If you do one thing from this video, do this. Make sure you have a clear morning and night routine tailored to you to help you create new positive beliefs and rewire your brain, your subconscious brain, in a more positive way. In the past, I had the horrible habit of watching negative content before I went to bed. And oh my god, that made my life so much worse. Because at night, your subconscious brain is so impressionable. You can feed it so many things so easily, and it can transform your reality so quickly if you just do that over and over and again at night. I used to always consume negative content before I went to bed, like stuff that just made me feel anxious and stressed about life and the world as a general, and made me feel insecure about myself. And I would always, before I went to bed, think to myself, oh my god, my life sucks. This is horrible. Why did I do this? Why did this happen in my life? What is going on? Oh my god. I would replay every single negative moment that happened during my day. At night, I would be stressed about it. I would cry about it. And by doing this every single night, my life got worse and worse and worse, and I couldn't understand why. This was why. You are reprogramming your brain right before you sleep. Your subconscious brain, your subconscious mind is literally a computer, and at night is when it starts to work and when it starts to program your reality. And I was feeding it code. Right before I went to bed, I was feeding it code on how to create my reality. And I didn't even know I was doing that. Right before you sleep, your subconscious brain is looking at you like, okay, give me instructions. How should I create your reality? What should I be doing? And then you're over here like, oh my god, my life sucks. I have so many terrible experiences. And then your subconscious brain is like, okay, terrible experiences. I'll give you more of those. Okay, got it. That's how it works. Every single night is an opportunity for you to change your reality, an opportunity to change the world. And you have to start having a nice routine at night, visualizing, rewinding, feeling positive, feeling good about your life, and never go to bed feeling depressed and anxious and nervous. That's what you have to do. Do not look at content an hour before you go to bed. Do not do any of those things. Relax, unwind, do something peaceful, do a hobby that doesn't involve screens. Find a way to relax. Take a bubble bath, take a nice shower, look at yourself in the mirror, put some moisturizer on yourself, brush your hair before you go to bed. Do relaxing things. And when you're sleeping, think of something you're grateful for. Think of something that you want to happen in your reality. Start visualizing the version of you who has that world desire you want. That's what you got to do. And in the mornings, this is also important. Our subconscious brain is most impressionable during the morning and at night. So in the mornings, start to do something that doesn't involve your phone. Don't look at your phone. Do not involve it at all, okay? And you could do something like going on a peaceful walk, writing in your gratitude journal, meditating. Have a relaxing, slow start to your day. Do not immediately give yourself stimuli. Do not look at negative content or think negative thoughts in the morning, especially. Of course, this can get a little tricky if you've always been used to thinking negative thoughts and thinking and having negative beliefs about yourself in the morning and before you go to bed. But try to slowly change that thought pattern. Like, for example, if you can't resist the urge to look at content in the morning, switch it from negative content to positive content. Switch it to something like a podcast that lifts you up, makes you feel empowered, makes you feel good, and is just a positive start to your day. And if you can't help scrolling at night, looking on your phone, slowly start to shift to positive content. Maybe listen to a podcast or a video right before you go to sleep. That just makes you feel better and makes you more relaxed, okay? And for my night routine, I just make sure I spend at least an hour and 30 minutes in my bathroom just doing my night stuff. Brushing my teeth, flossing, etc., just unwinding, and I make sure to just listen to something that relaxes me, like a podcast on health, how to be more healthy, etc. And I remember, this happened so recently. For the past couple of weeks, I started to read and listen to an audiobook while I was doing my night routine. And this audiobook was honestly filled with so much like stress-inducing stuff because it was a fantasy book and the main characters were just going through so much pain and suffering, and I was just very hooked. I was listening to it at night and I was like, wow, this is so interesting. But subconsciously, because that's when our subconscious brain starts to activate, I started to absorb the feelings in the audiobook. I started to feel more stressed and more scared and afraid and anxious because that's what the characters were going through in that book. And then before I went to bed, I would replay those scenes in my mind that happened in the book. And when I woke up the next morning, I couldn't tell why, but I was just so stressed and anxious, and my heart was just beating so fast throughout the day. And I was just so agitated. I couldn't tell why. And then I pinpointed it to the audiobook because actually, honestly, that book was stressing me out as I was listening to it. It was a good story. It was really compelling, but I learned that I didn't work well with these stressful stories, like adrenaline-inducing stories at night, because I felt stressed out before I went to bed, and then that would result in me feeling more stressed out throughout the day. And also, if you want to learn more about how you can transform your mindset and your habits in a more in-depth way, you can check out my Mindset and Habits Masterclass in my school community. First link in the description below. It will totally transform your life. It's very, very detailed, and it gives you like worksheets, exact things that you have to do to manifest your desires, to rewire your identity, and how to create long-lasting routines and habits so you can finally become the person you've always wanted to be that has that amazing life that you're manifesting. Let's get back into the video. Here's the second guideline for creating your routine. Once you have your morning and night routine all solid, you have to include tasks, include habits in between that time throughout your day that will help you manifest your desire. If you desire to have a successful business, a successful career, make sure to spend some time getting your work done and being productive. That's literally a no-brainer, but a lot of people, they struggle with that. So the thing I want you to know is that the most mentally exhausting task is what you should be doing first. Like the most mentally exhausting, I mean, you need to think a lot for it. It requires you to like focus. It requires you to just lock in and get that done because it just takes a bunch of mental brain power. Maybe doing a big project, maybe writing an essay for school. So if you currently desire to get a nice gym body and also be productive at school and get good grades, I would tell you to study first after your morning routine right away instead of going to the gym first. This is because our brains have a mental battery, and your energy level, your brain's battery level, goes down during the day as you do more and more tasks. So right when you wake up, after your morning routine, if you go and do the most mentally exhausting / draining task that takes you the most mental power and mental effort, go do that first. Because if you choose to do the less mentally exhausting tasks, I should stop using that word, mentally exhausting, maybe mentally draining? No, because these tasks are actually like gonna help you live the life you want. Do the mentally most hardest tasks. Yes, do those first, because if you do the less mentally hard tasks, you are just going to procrastinate because your brain capacity just isn't enough. Your brain battery is all the way at the bottom because you drained all of that energy. Like if you get home from school and if you want to get good grades, study first, then work out. Otherwise, if you work out first, you're going to feel more tired, and then you're not going to be able to study because your brain's energy level is low. But if you study first, if you get that done, you are going to find it easier to go to the gym because studying took a lot more energy and going to the gym takes a lot less. So do the most mentally hardest tasks first in your routine as fast as you can, then do the less mentally hard tasks. For example, for me, I always make sure to go to the gym after I finish work. Otherwise, if I go to the gym first, my mental battery is going to just go down and I'm not going to have enough to properly focus and get my work done. The third guideline that is so important is to make sure that you are removing your self-sabotaging habits. You probably know this by now. You've probably written down a list of the things that your ideal self does every day, and maybe some of the things that you're doing right now are not what your ideal self does. I had a huge video game addiction, and I desired to become someone that was successful, happy, and had all the desires that I wanted. But that person, that version of me, did not play video games every single day like a maniac and was addicted to their screen. So I knew that I had to quit, and I worked on quitting. I looked for ways to quit. I slowly reduced it throughout the weeks, and then now I just quit cold turkey. I don't play it. I don't touch it anymore. And after I did that, that's when I saw the most success and transformation in my life. Because these daily habits that you have, they do play a huge role in creating your life. If you have productive habits in your routine, but you also have negative bad habits, those bad habits are going to slowly start to cancel out those productive habits. They aren't going to let you focus properly anymore. They are going to keep sabotaging you from your fullest potential, and they're going to block you from getting to that life that you want. And honestly, quitting video games was so difficult for me at that time because my entire identity was formed around it, formed around playing video games, being the gamer girl, etc. And it felt so hard to let go of that, but I knew that I had to change. So I shifted to my new identity, and I embodied the identity of being someone that was successful, that was happy, that was productive. And that's when I was finally able to quit that bad habit. Because here's another secret. In order to quit your bad habits, you have to change your identity. You have to act as if you are already the person who has that desire of yours. You need to change your identity, and that's when your life will change. If you believed yourself to be someone that's lazy, unproductive, can't do anything, is dumb and unintelligent, it's going to be so hard for you to sit down, focus, and get your work done and get your tasks done. So focus on embodying the version of you that already has that desire you want. Focus on feeling like you already are them. Focus on shifting your identity to them instead of your old identity. And then transformation will happen. Of course, this is a process. It will take time. And I want you to think of all of this as you just sowing new seeds in a garden. You grew your old seeds of negative beliefs, your negative identity. And if you want to let those seeds and let those flowers, let those trees, weeds, whatever, wither away, you have to focus your attention on watering and growing your new positive identity and becoming that person who already has that desire, who does that routine, who does those habits. So focus on being consistent with your positive habits. Focus on quitting negative habits that you know will self-sabotage you. Like you want to lose weight, you want to get a nice body, but you eat junk food every single day. You have to focus on quitting. You have to focus on replacing that habit with other positive things to do. Like maybe instead of just quitting junk food cold turkey, you start finding healthier replacements. And when you find healthier replacements, you just quit junk food cold turkey. You constantly eat healthy, you go to the gym, etc. So yes, that is the process of how you can create your own daily routine. Figure out what your ideal self looks like. Figure out what they do day to day. Add that into your own daily routine and just write down a list of every single thing that you do every single day. Like you wake up at this time, you go to bed at this time, and then what do you do in between you waking up and sleeping? Create a clear schedule like the one I showed you right here. Create like a clear schedule on Google Calendar or something so you know what you're going to be doing every single day. Try to follow it to the best that you can. Of course, it might take some time, you might mess up sometimes, but that's totally okay. As long as you're making baby steps towards your goal, you will get there. Focus on quitting toxic habits that you know are sabotaging you, like eating junk food when you want to lose weight, or playing video games, or procrastinating on your phone when you want to get work done and when you want to do good in school, etc. So yes, those are all the things that I have for you today. Thank you for watching this video. Bye.